What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Paint It Live. It is a Saturday night, and we're going to do some painting. We're going to see what's going on. I'm just getting stuff set up. Now, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might know that I have made some changes to my setup here. So we're going to try it out, and I'm hoping it works. I think it should work better. I think it's going to take into account my bad habits when streaming. So I'm just going to set up my watch page right now. Like my stream quality is just okay. But anyways, I'm going to show you guys what I finished earlier this morning. And then we can have a look at what we're going to paint tonight, okay? So if you're just joining us, welcome to the feed. Here we go. Let me show you guys what I've been painting. Now, if you were on Facebook last night, you saw me start some of these guys here. This is Agent O'Connell. And I did this on Facebook last night, but it did not keep the feed because I guess it picked up on my music. I got paranoid about the music in the end there. But yeah, sure enough, it found that, oh no, I used somebody's music. And I don't know if you can hear the music in the background, or at least if it's maybe muffled enough so that you can't tell like whose music it is. I'm hoping. Doesn't really matter anyway. Okay, so here's the female cop. They call her stripper cop. She's in the sexy pose. I need 2 more of those. I want to go max. I want to be able to go max stripper cop. And then you got Tweedledum and Tweedledee. These are super fun to paint. Simple paint jobs, but fun. Tweedledee. These guys are packing some pretty serious hardware. So they're going to be a fun crew, this Wonderland crew. It wasn't really my intent to play a Wonderland crew. I picked it up mainly because I wanted this guy right here, Mr. Mad Hatter. And I could do more. Like I could do a little more with this guy's paint job. It's not the most exciting paint job ever, but it's super fun miniature. I love the character. I also painted this for the other side of a. So I don't know why I do this, but I'm building an introductory Batman game kit. I don't know. I might shoot a series of videos on how to play Batman, and I want to use this kit specifically, Dynamic Duo. So I'm going to use Dynamic Duo, Batman, and obviously you got to have the Boy Wonder. So I got the Boy Wonder and I got Batman. And the idea is Batman and the Boy Wonders, 165 points. You throw in Alfred, or you throw in a sexy cop and a fat cop, and you got just under 200 rep there, and you can build them up to 1,000 equipment, however you want to do it. But the Wonderland crew is 198 rep. So my thinking is, well, I have 2 crews that kind of function right there at that 200 rep mark. Let's paint those up. I don't see myself formally promoting the game, but I think it would be fun just to have intro crews. And like I said, maybe I would be tempted to shoot some introductory videos for Batman, but we'll see. All right, so on to what we're painting tonight. So you saw the other 3 members of the Wonderland crew. That leaves White Rabbit here. Okay, and this is what we're going to be painting tonight. This is one of my favorite sculpts in the entire Night Models range. I love her, Comic Talia, There's some really, really fun ones. Modern Catwoman, that's a super fun sculpt. This is just a fun sculpt. This is gonna be fun because there's a lot of skin to play around with, and I don't know. I just, I like painting this style. I don't know. Maybe that's why I love Soda Pop miniatures so much, but that's what I like to paint. I like to paint this style of miniature, and yeah, and I'm not going to apologize for it. So here's the other thing too. So I have this. I reset my whole desk. Believe it or not, it's super clean, and I'm really pretty proud of that. It's gonna get messy here in a hurry because I'm gonna have more commissions and all that kind of stuff. But with the last live feed and everything just slipping out of frame all the time, here's kind of my thought here is I have this. The camera itself is on this black clip here, and I'm not going to touch the camera. I'm not going to move the camera, okay, because it's totally designed for this. But the idea is if I keep the holder in contact with that, you can see it should stay in frame. At least most of the time, I should be in frame. The rest of it's just going to be the trick of, getting used to that. But I always have a physical cue. Like I want to get used to just keeping this holder on here, and so I should be able to always be in frame. All right, we're gonna fingers crossed. We're gonna see if that works. All right. So once again, if you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. Tonight's subject is the White Rabbit from Night Miniatures. If you guys have any other suggestions for how I might stay in frame or anything I could do to improve the quality of these live streams, let me know. People have just checked out already. Wow. So I'm going to do, so we're going to work on skin. I mean, this model is mostly skin. Kind of a weird portion of the sculpt right here. I'm not really sure what to do about that. There's like a junky part of the mini back there. I should also look at White Rabbit. I should look at Google some photos of White Rabbit and see what else I might be able to do with the outfit. Because the studio art is cool. It's kind of that pink and white outfit, and I think that's cool. But if maybe there's a cool like alt color scheme that might be awesome. And I realize I've already painted the mask in purple, but we can fix that. Booty comments are welcome while I'm painting this part of the model. Wow, no biters, huh? Serious crowd. Serious crowd. Okay. Let me pick the other skin colors we want. So we're going to go tanned highlight. And I think I want to go no. I want her to be youthful flesh is a nice color, but what about I also have Caucasian flesh, which is also a really cool color. So let's see. This is just a nice youthful flesh has a little brighter chroma to it. So she won't look as washed out if I use that color. Although this is probably truer to the, let's try that. We're going to try Caucasian skin. But first, we got to do the, you got to do tanned highlight. With how tight that little G-string is, I might have to paint that in before I paint in the final highlight of fair skin, just so I can correct, any potential mistakes we might have. So if you guys are just tuning in, can you let me know how the quality of the stream is? Because it showed up as the stream quality is okay. And I'm a little nervous here because I'm seeing a lot of people pop in and then shut off immediately. So either they don't want to see me paint this booty, or the stream may be suffering right now. And I realize it's always something with this channel, but I'd like to know what it is. The best join here. It's kind of a mess right there. Also, let me know how the video quality is. Is this too dark? Is it too light? Is it just right? again, the goal here is to continue to improve the quality of these live feeds. Looks like she's kind of sticking her middle finger out. I don't feel like I'm 100% in focus. Let's see. Pretty good, huh? That better? I realize we went out of focus to get back into focus, but that's how it works, right? We'll do 2 layers of this tanned highlight. It's a really good skin tone, actually. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? All right. All right, let's try this Caucasian flesh. Let me know how this video quality is going, if it's any better. I made some changes to my workspace, and I want to know if this is working, or, you know, if it's better or worse, what I might change to make this quality of my streaming better. I'm going to try to get better at staying in frame. So yeah, if you see something that I could be doing better to improve the quality of the stream, the video stream, or the audio, or whatever, I'm all ears. Right now we're in with Caucasian skin. Just doing a bit of a highlight on the skin here. Oh, geez. I didn't even do the other thigh there. Probably because I knew I'll have to correct it once I paint the G-string in. So it looks like Caucasian is a nice little, it's a little bit of a tone up from tanned highlight, but it's pretty subtle. It's not the biggest jump. And that's fairly good. That's kind of what we want. We don't want big drastic jumps. Get the cheekage here. All right. Who would have thought you'd be watching me paint the little bunny booty? What you gotta do, man. This is super fun miniature. Been wanting to paint this for a while. And with Secret 6, you know, being able to take Mad Hatter, it's a good opportunity for me to paint her and Mad Hatter and Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And then really kind of play around with the Wonderland crew and see what they can really do. Like I said, I kind of built it to be a introductory game type crew. But that said, I don't know. I could throw. I'm serious. I'm this close to just throwing Deathstroke in there and having a 5 model just total wrecking crew. Because that's a nice compact Wonderland crew right out of the gate. You only get 2 henchmen, but still kind of awesome. I'm gonna Google some images of White Rabbit here. So we're gonna go White Rabbit PC Comics. see what we got. All right. So it looks like her standard outfit is that sort of pink and white, kind of pink and lavender outfit. Yeah, that's pretty much what she wears. That's it. Oh, look, there's someone cosplaying as her. That takes a lot of guts to cosplay that. People think, like, people who don't know the character, and probably a few people that do know the character, are like, you're just dressing up as a slut. Anyway. You're just dressing up as a slut. Okay, so let's paint the song. We'll paint that in because I need that in there because if I'm working on the skin, I don't want to screw up the skin and then have to come back and deal with it all over again. So I'm going to try to get that at least painted in before things get a little too crazy here. Okay, so we're going to go in with blue violet, which is the same color we did on the mask. In fact, blue. The one thing I'm curious about, how did the stockings look? Were the stockings striped too, or no? They're just white stockings. Okay, fair enough. All right. So I give up a little bit of comfort here in order to paint and ensure that I'm in frame. See, I just messed up right there. On the booty, you can see it. And that's why we do it now, because I don't have the final highlight in. I don't have the, if I'm going to do any sort of skin wash or anything like that, I don't have that down. I guess modern, you can take modern Catwoman in the Wonderland crew, I believe, right? The issue with the Wonderland crew is the fact that White Rabbit isn't the sidekick. So you only get one additional free agent, unless, of course, the other free agent you take is Electrocutioner. But you got to have somebody in there with charismatic in order to get 3 free agents in there. And it's a shame that she does. I mean, it would make sense to me from a balancing standpoint, not necessarily a fluff standpoint. It would make sense to me if she had charismatic so that you could fit a couple of free agents in there. And then regarding henchmen, you basically just stuck taking inmates. Which is okay, but I don't know. I don't want to run if I want to run Wonderland crew, I want to run, kind of a more Oh, word I'm looking for. I want to run a more thematic crew. And I don't think that, you know, the starter box and a bunch of inmates is really going to cut it. And now the decision is, should I do an ink wash on this, or are we pretty happy with this? If I did a super subtle ink wash, it'd probably give me a nice nice smooth finish, which is all I really want. So I'll probably do that. I'm probably gonna let this layer dry. I don't know. It seems darker in here, the way this is set up. Okay. So let's pull up with the, oh wait, oh, I don't have to do that. Okay, I've got this. So it looks like pink, and so that dark purple is really just sort of banding, but the main color there is, the main colors are pink. Oh, and there's no skin, there's no exposed skin on the gloves, there's just pink gloves. And then white ears and stuff. This is easy. I better have another miniature waiting in the wings here to start painting. Okay, let's start painting pinks. So we're gonna do squid pink, and then I guess we'll go up to heavy warm gray. Heavy warm gray actually looks like what I should do, honestly, is paint it heavy warm gray, and then wash it or glaze it with that blue violet. That seems like the smarter thing to do. So let's do that. So hey Blade Wolf, can you tell me? Oh, that doesn't look right. Needs more pink in there. Can you tell me if the music is too obvious? Is it too recognizable? Okay, so let me know if you're in a group. If you were to build a crew, what do you suggest to have in the group? Okay, sure, I can answer. That's a good question. Let me mix up some paint here real quick. And then I'll answer that in just a second. I need another drink. This mini fridge I got for Father's Day was awesome. Not really, unless you pump your vol. Okay. I just want to know if YouTube is going to flag it and then like not allow me to post this recording. I can always turn it down. Alexa, set volume 3. Let's see. Yeah, it's better. And eating some rice sticks right now. Hey, Lord Draconum, welcome to the feed. All right, so I'm going to paint all this in right now. And I'm going to try to answer Blade Wolf's question about, I guess this is almost more of a generic, you know, what's your approach for building crews, right? Like, do you have a typical mindset? What are things that you want to have at a bare minimum? And what are the different roles that you want to fill as you're filling out your roster? That's how I'm interpreting this question. Let me know if that's not what you want me to answer while I'm taking a stab at it, okay? So the typical 350 rep crew and 1,500 funding, you know, you're going to base a lot of that. For me, I always start with, you know, what leader am I taking? Because that's going to define what roles I'm going to need in the crew. And it's also going to define what the crew actually does, right? So I guess I might as well, I mean, we might as well talk about the Wonderland crew here, since they're kind of an interesting crew. Not Flash. That's Flash. She shouldn't have like that extra long finger there. Yeah, I think that's Flash. Hold on one sec. Oh, I have to take her off out of frame. I know. Sorry, guys. There we go. Just needed to, so she doesn't look like she's quite flipping you off. Anyway, okay. So we'll take the Wonderland crew here. And you know, I can also alternately, I could talk about the other crews I run, like Court of Owls or League of Shadows or that kind of thing. League of Shadows are probably, of the crews that I actively run, they're probably the most versatile build-wise, because you have several different options for your boss. Wonderland crew, unfortunately, you only got the one boss. Court of Owls, you only have the choice between two bosses or a sidekick. But in the case of Court of Owls, they all kind of have the same strengths and weaknesses in a way. They're all, Court of Owls bosses are all support bosses, in other words. All right. And in the case of the Wonderland crew, you have a boss that's, in my opinion, kind of like, you know, he has some shooting ability, but you take him, you know, one of his big highlights is that mind control device, right? So you're kind of taking like a smaller Poison Ivy, almost. A smaller Poison Ivy with a bigger gun, okay? So you're not taking, you're not taking a top-heavy guy. You're not taking a Bane. You're not taking a Ra's al Ghul. You've got a support guy, okay? So what I typically do is I look at my boss, right? And then I start to look at, okay, do I have an option for a sidekick? Who is, and if I don't, in this case I don't, who is the technical sidekick, right? So so you got Mad Hatter, who is essentially, he needs to be protected. He's got a good gun. He's got that cool mind control device, but ultimately he's pretty squishy, right? So you have Tweedledee and Tweedledum, who are fantastic at being bodyguards, and they can put out the hurt if they need to. And then in addition, you have White Rabbit, who she does a lot of support type things. She can she's more of like a debuffer, but she's also super fast. So she's going to be a pretty good objective runner for you. In this particular crew, you might be using clues a lot. You might take clues as one of your 3 objective types, just because White Rabbit can get over there, and you want her to kind of be loose the game. You kind of want her to kind of float around, stay somewhat near the trouble, but then she needs to be slippery enough to get away from it if she needs to, right? So that's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with basically a support master, good range, and you've got an objective runner. Okay, so that right there are some roles that you're looking for in your different crews. You're going to need some range support. You're going to need, you do need that brawler type character. You know what I mean? You do need a melee focused character, in my opinion. You do need objective runners, and you need, you can take objective runners, you can take bodyguards, you can also take more support characters, right? So those are like the basic things that I look at. It's almost like building your, building your raiding party. You want to have a tank, you want to have DPS, you want to have healing support, right? In the case of the Wonderland crew, you have a support character in White Rabbit. You have kind of like another main support character in the Hatter, and you've got a couple of ranged DPS. You don't have melee DPS, and you don't have, and you're kind of thin on numbers. So you could take a couple of approaches. Like I mentioned, taking Deathstroke, right? So if you took Deathstroke in this crew, you suddenly have that absolute melee powerhouse, right? You got that guy that can go toe-to-toe with Batman, toe-to-toe with Bane. He can take on the best in the game. And he is a killing machine, right? So you get that. And that basically would fill up the rest of your points. It would fill that much-needed role in Wonderland crew, because Wonderland crew is kind of susceptible to somebody getting into your lines and just chopping stuff up. So Deathstroke could help keep the pressure on the opponent. Like, in other words, Deathstroke could be the guy in the enemy lines kind of mixing it up while your opponent's trying to properly space his approach to Mad Hatter. And he should be, because, Mad Hatter has the mind control device. If you get with it to within 20 centimeters of Mad Hatter, and you let him get the drop on you, and you let the rabbit pull confusion on you, you're going to be in big trouble that turn, because Tweedledee and Tweedledum can come in and really, really just shred your guys, right? And if the mind control device happens on a critical henchman, maybe a henchman that's armed with something quite nice, like a rocket launcher or a machine gun or something like that, he could put a lot of hurt into that enemy crew. So that's one approach, right? Take your powerhouse. Now, what's the downside to that? Well, obviously, that only puts you at 5 miniatures in a 350 rep crew. And for me personally, 5 is pushing it. 4 is super hard at 350 rep, because 4 models and you have 3 objectives and a scenario to complete. That's tough. No, I'm not saying it's impossible. I've won games with 4 miniatures, but they really have to have good roles, and everybody's got to be contributing at 4. 4 is crazy. 5 is easier, but it's not that much easier. You get another extra model in there. So you might be able to double up on a specific role, or you might have a couple of objective grabbers in there that can. I like having that operative that can kind of go off by himself or herself and just continue to rack up points. So that's why Catwoman makes it into a lot of my lists, because I love her ability to kind of stay out of trouble and then get in, get what she wants, get her loot, and then get back out. I love that about Catwoman. So yeah, you got that. And then at 6 models, though, 6 models to me is really where you want to be. Between 6 and 9 models for a typical crew. For a team, if you can get a team to 5 models, you're in good shape. Most teams, run comfortably around 4 models, and that's tough. That's an inherent disadvantage to running a team. So, take that for what it's worth. That's usually what I look at. So, for example, if I'm doing Sinister 6, because I always got to talk about Sinister 6. If I'm doing Sinister 6 and they have, and I've got Catman, who's going to be Catman as my boss, gives me really more of a defensive objective runner. You know what I mean? He's a good boss in terms of being able to keep him alive, because he goes up to like endurance 10. He's defense 5. He doesn't have acrobatic, so you got to watch out for ranged weapons, but he does have tracking. He can get across the board fairly quick. So that's what you really use Catman for. He's not, I always talk about how awesome Catman is and how he's like the greatest guy, right? The truth is, in the game, you're not going to get a lot of kills with Catman, and you shouldn't be. That's not really what he's supposed to be doing. Catman is there to help score off objectives. He's there to help either tank opponents or finish opponents in some cases. But he's, his role is really to get in there and mix it up with your opponent just enough for you to get done what you need to get done, your objectives and your scenario, right? So with Catman, you run your range support is going to be Deadshot in some form. So you take Deadshot as either any 3 of the Deadshots are good. Right now, I'm really liking the Arkham Origins or Arkham City Deadshot. It's a terrible mini, but the fact that you get rate of fire 2 medium range pistol on a night vision character who's got 4 ammo and rapid fire is amazingly nice, right? You have a turret at 40 millimeter who can hit anybody at 40 centimeters. That's a nice thing. And he's got ammo 4, so people might be setting up traps for him at the ammo crate, at your ammo objective, and you may act like you're going to try to head over there with him, but really you're not. You're never going to make it over there with him. So you just kind of fake out your opponent. Your opponent's like, oh, Deadshot's on the board. He's going to want to get over to this ammo crate. Well, not if you have 4 ammo, because you don't really need, you know what I mean? You don't really need to get over there. You only lose 2 turns of shooting. And that first turn, you're usually just getting into position. So maybe you're only losing 1 turn of shooting, if that. So anyways, ooh. Yeah, I got a little problem here with this sculpt. It did not turn out so well. That crusty part there. However, if you go with okay, so you got sweat shots in there as your range DPS. Then you have as your buffer debuffer, you have animated series Harley Quinn. And what I love about Secret Six is that, you know, just the access to Harley Quinn is super fun. Okay. And let me explain. Harley Quinn, there's like 5 different rule sets for Harley Quinn, or 4 or 5. Right? There's obviously there's Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. Then you've got the her starter box rule set. Then you have the Arkham City Harley Quinn, the free agent Harley Quinn. You have the animated series Harley Quinn. Then you have classic Harley Quinn. And the cool thing about it is Harley Quinn is all the different Harley Quinns behave very differently. It's super cool, right? So, for example, you know, Margot Robbie Harley Quinn really kind of has she's just completely unique character. She just, whatever her 6 counters are her 6 counters, and she can do with them whatever she wants during her turn. You know, she can convert those to attack counters, defense counters, whatever you want, whatever you need at that time. So she's the ultimate in flexible tactical characters. Then you have, on the opposite side of that, you have animated series Harley Quinn, who happens to be my favorite Harley Quinn at the moment, because you know, you have a 40-point model that has Distract and Follow Me and a ranged weapon, and, you know, who's rocking Acrobat and Movement 4 for 40 rep. That's ridiculously cheap. She's an incredible bargain, right? So she gets into that lineup, and she's really just she's like the troll of that crew. Then you have Mike the Parademon, who I really love. And he is an incredible anvil. He's more than just an anvil, though, because, I mean, the guy has flight and strength 2+. And then he's got hardened, sturdy, medium armor. He's tough, man. He is a flying tank. You can fly Mike directly at people, and he's going to be around for a while, right? Endurance 9, and then you've got medium armor, like I said. You know, even people firing a bunch of firearms at Mike are going to have a hard time putting him down, just because they're looking at 4 ups to wound. And then in the next, you really get that turn, because the next turn Mike is he's gonna fly, or he'll charge. He could fly and charge. That's crazy. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, okay, so you got Mike, who's basically your flying tank, is what we'll say. He's the flying tank. Then you have Strix, who is Strix is your she's really your reliable beater, right? Strix is super consistent at putting out damage, because she's got a katana at strength 4, which is just absolutely brilliant. She has the throwing knives that are sharp, rate of fire 2 with rapid fire. And you're talking about an acrobat with, I believe she's movement 4. So you have a really strong character in there, and she's just a henchman, which is amazing. So she benefits from Harley Quinn's Follow Me, the animated series Harley Quinn Follow Me. But anyways, what I'm getting at is that Secret Six squad, everybody has a role. Everybody does something. And if you drop Bane in there, for Catman, you're basically giving up your defensive objective runner for a massive beat stick boss. And it's awesome. So, like, if I was playing in a tournament as Secret Six, I would run those 4 constant and then just swap the boss whenever I need it, because those 4 are a fantastic team in their own right. That was a long answer, I know. Mm-hmm. And I realize I'm moving a little slow here. I think it's because I have a few models set up to paint, so I'm not like in this crazy rush to get stuff done. Okay. So let's paint the white in. Let's paint the glacial blue in right now. And then I'm still deciding if I need to wash the skin. I think I do. Even though the skin looks fantastic to me, I do want to have just that extra little layer of cool. Might be a mistake. Right? Don't fix what ain't broke, but sometimes I do. My phone keeps buzzing too, so let's see what's going on. No one cares. Was working with some BattleTech makers today along with Luther Core. I saw Luther Core locally, and I'm this close to buying it. I really want to paint one and play like one game with it and then not play it. So I'm using glacial blue here as the white because it applies better than white does. And you don't actually break out white until you start doing highlights and stuff. Such a simple model. Those are like my favorite minis are the ones that are really simple and just, give them a half decent paint job and they look fantastic. How am I doing stand in frame? Is it better tonight? About the same? I'm hoping it's better, but you guys tell me. I'm going to try something a little fancy here. So I'm going to paint a little bit of white there on that arm because it's bugging me. Like she put a little, I don't know, extra costume bit right there or something. So one danger with this particular color scheme is that the model gets too washed out. You know, particularly the skin, which is a big reason why I want to wash the skin. Right? Because you can already, to me, she's already starting to look washed out. Like, as this white's coming in. And I get it. It's just the nature of the outfit. You know, there's no real fault on behalf of either the sculptor. I'm sure there's some fault of me, but ultimately these are her colors. Okay. Yeah, let's give her, we're going to give her a skin wash, but it's going to be a really subtle one. Where did my skin ink go? I don't see anything. Not bad. Not see my flesh wash here. That is a little upsetting. And perhaps stick it here, did I? No, no. That's okay. No. Well, that's upsetting. Not stick it there. Okay. All of my Luthor Kais have. Yeah, medium armor is amazing in the game. I am tempted to get that set. Okay. That means my skin wash has to be here. There it is. Found it. It's upside down in the wrong place. That's good to know. All right. So we're gonna take some flesh wash and put it in some glazed medium. We'll go roughly 2-to-1. This is going to be real thin flesh wash, but that's what we want. $350 lick score team. Nice. No, I didn't get. Facebook question. What drill bit size do you use for your vise on the Batman miniature game? Oh, is that up? Don't you love it when those notifications come up and it's like you start reading them and then they disappear? Because they're too long. The question is too long for the update. But I will answer that. I'll answer Albert's question here. First, let's get this skin wash down. You can use them for both BMG and DCU. That's correct, sir. At some point, I know I'll have enough miniatures that from Batman to play DCU. So I'll be able to try that out at some point. You're doing well, but I'm painting as well. Okay, I just want to make sure. Looks like watching that last bit, and it looks like I'm just barely in frame. But I appreciate the feedback. All right. So now we just take the damp brush. Now let's pull off the wash where I would normally need highlights. All right. So which looks okay. So I'm gonna need. So now I'm gonna make a glaze out of the blue violet and shade the pink warm gray. So I'm just gonna make a really thin version of it, and it's gonna act like a. And I only need to apply it in the on the stockings and stuff. See, so like it would be there. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Plate Paint Alive. Let us know what you're painting or what you should be painting. Tonight's subject, the white rabbit. Put a little bit of highlight back in the skin. Just the most minor. Yeah, on that screen up there, it looks like I'm way too far down. So do I need to? Let's try that. Let's see if that keeps me in. Working on it, people. We're gonna get better. Looks good. Thank you, sir. Okay. So there's that. Okay. So the last thing to do, really, is I want to shade the hair a little bit, like just a teeny tiny little bit. Okay. So I'm going to take this cold gray, and I'm going to make another. Guess what? Yes, glaze out of that. Albert T, I finally made a channel so I can chat, comment. Hey, what's up, man? Welcome to the feed. Yeah, I saw that you tried to message me with a question. It kind of flashed past my screen. I didn't get a chance to see all of it. Let's see what we got. But yeah, you can feel free to ask it right now while I'm here. Yes, and you saw that I was live. Cool. Okay. I was wondering what size drill bit you use for pinning because I have a 1/16 drill, but not sure if that's too big. If you're talking inches, that is still too big. Let me show you what I'm going to use here. Let me get this glaze down real quick, and I'll break out the little pinning kit I'm currently using. And I'll show you the whole shebang-a-bang since actually, let me do I want to get something else drying too. Oh, where did it go though? There you go. Let me at least get the main coat down on the flagstone base, and I promise Otherwise, I'll buy a set just for mini. Yeah, let me give you a recommendation as far as what you should buy. Okay, one sec. I'm just gonna put some salt gray down on the base. And this can be a nice sloppy job here because this usually takes a little while to dry anyway. All right. So we're gonna let her dry. We're gonna let that dry for just a second. Okay. So here's what I use for pinning the minis. You're gonna want to. You're gonna not want to do that. All right. You're gonna want to go to Harbor Freight, okay? Or you can order these on Amazon too. These are the bits that I use. They and you can see they're super small, but they're not like these kind of bits where you have to find a chuck that's small enough to accept these. And most of these you won't have a problem with, but once you get below 1 millimeter, it's next to impossible. Okay, let me explain a little further there, because when you get yourself your pin vise, I'm going to show you a couple of different ones. Since we got a little time while this thing is while it's drying. Okay, so for example, this is the P3 pinning kit, or the pin vise for P3. And then here's the one for Citadel. Now, the Citadel one is actually kind of nice because it's got a more comfortable ball, right? So normally this rests against your palm and you turn that way, right? But here's the problem with the Citadel one. If you're looking down that chuck there, you can see there's a hole in the middle of it, right? So when you tighten it all the way down, you still have that hole, right? That hole is about 1 millimeter, right? It's about 1 millimeter. So if you have, if you're using a bit that's smaller than 1 millimeter, you're SOL. So that's why I don't recommend the Citadel pin vise at least for Batman or for Corvus Belli or anything like that. Okay, good design. I just wish this chuck was a little bit better. So instead, we're going to use you can either use like a regular Ryobi drill, like what I have, or I've been using this more lately, just because it's sometimes just easier to just grab this than it is to use a regular drill. If you use a regular drill, guess what? You can use these tiny guys, but you shouldn't have to. So use the P3 pin vise, okay? And the P3 pin vise will come to you like this, right? And if you look, when you close it all the way, hey, you still have a hole there. And that hole there is a little bit smaller than the GW one. This one probably get you down to almost maybe 0.7 millimeter, almost half a millimeter. Okay, that's not bad, but I often go below that. Like I'll often go, into the the 0.3, 0.4 millimeter. So what you have to do, especially if you want to use one of these, because these are so awesome. Right, this is the one I usually use this, and I'm not sure the exact size on this guy. Let's see if it. Is it labeled? No. But this is definitely under less than 1 millimeter. But the part that you like is this part, this big heavy part, right? Because you could put it in a drill bit and it's fantastic. You could put it in a Dremel. Don't do that. Dremels go way too fast. So you might be tempted because they'll sell this as a Dremel accessory. Don't put this in a Dremel. Instead, like I said, you can use it in a low voltage drill, or you can use it in this. Now you can't use it this way, but what you have to do, it's kind of like a special trick here. Take this off and flip it and use the other side, right? See, the other side's a lot bigger. You put that in. And now this will take this bit, okay? So, and that's one thing. The Citadel one does have a larger side to it, but it won't go in. You can see it's pretty snug, so it just barely fits in there, which is fine. Then you want to tighten that down, right? And there, you're in business. You got a nice pin vise there that's nice and straight. It should cut pretty well. You know, it's not going to slip the same way that just the regular style bits are going to go. This is what I recommend. This is fantastic, and I've been using this and super happy about it. These will break, just so you know. Like if you go at the wrong angle or whatever, they'll snap and it'll be upsetting. You can use the pink. There's like the pink color band. You can use those or the black. You can actually use any of these smaller ones too, as long as your pinning material is that same diameter, right? I'm going to take this out for a sec because here's the other important part. So I'm using this setup, P3 pin vise, and this type of bit. But the important part is, like, most people pin with they'll pin with paper clips. Okay, I'll show you a paper clip. So you got all these different rods that you can use for pinning. That's wrong. This is like 1.25 millimeter. Here's the big guy. This is like, I think 1.75, almost 2 millimeter. And then you may have a standard paper clip. This is actually kind of a heavier paper clip. It's a set, I'm assuming. Yeah, it's a set. You buy them in those little plastic. You see them in those little plastic cases, like mine is in. So a standard paper clip is about 1 millimeter. This one's actually a little heavier gauge. This is probably closer to like 1.2 millimeter. So this is what most people pin with. I don't pin with this stuff anymore. Even the like really, really big models, I try to go with more narrow pins. And the reason why I go with narrow pins is because you can get a little better precision out of them. The drills cut into the models faster, and if you have problems, they're thin enough to where you can bend them. Here's a standard paper clip, so you can see that's about 1 millimeter there. Most people will pin with that, and it's fine. You know, there's a lot, like if you're most of the guild ball joints, you can get away with something like this, but when you start doing tiptoes, you're kind of in a bad shape. So here's what I would recommend. What else I would recommend buying, and in addition to the pinning kit that I showed you. Put this back. You can get this on Amazon. You're gonna get music wire, okay? And this music wire that I'm using right now it's not going to focus because it's too close, but the diameter is 0.020. Okay, so this is about half This is like 0.5 millimeters, right? 0.020, I believe, is inches. But so this is about half a millimeter. So it's about half as wide as a standard paper clip. And I love this stuff. Okay. It's rigid. The drills will cut just fine with it. And then when you insert that into a joint, it gives it flexibility and strength at the same time. And then you just buy a spool of this stuff, and it's going to last you forever, pretty much. The other option is, I think you can go to S&L Industries and get the 0.015, and that works fantastic as well. Those are what I like. If you can't find those, you can. The Army Painter pinning kit does actually have a 0.5 millimeter pinning rod, and that'll get you by. But if you're pinning everything, you'll run out. I've run out like, I don't know how many times. Many times. Let's see if I can find one. I may not have one loose in here. There is a downside to that music wire, though. The music wire is really taut, so when you use your triangle cutters to cut it, it will fire. Like it will snap into something. I think there was a feed I did a week ago or a little whiles back where you can see I'm cutting one and it fires right into my finger. So be careful with it. Like you will bleed. It just, I don't know. In fact, I was pinning this guy. Yeah, I was pinning Jason Todd. Super fitting. He just bled right into me. So anyway, that's what I use for pinning. And it's so much better to go with a smaller pin like that and have that kind of control, and then you have a spool of it, and you're using the right bits. So that is what I recommend, sir. Hope that helped. Oh, you saw the live feed where I got hit. Yeah. I bled on TV. Yeah. Let's finish White Rabbit here, and I can do a little bit of work on Red Hood too. Okay. So now that gray is in her hair, now I'm going to want to go back and sort of just overbrush some highlights. It does. The Lex Heavy Trooper has shoulder guns that I should probably pin up. Yeah, I pinned these little ears on the rabbit. And you could argue that that's not necessary, but man, can you imagine playing a game with her and then having these little ears snap off and trying to sit there with your hand, like hold this in place while your hand's shaking, trying to get that piece to stick back in there. Whereas that tiny little pin will help you out so often. Okay. Yeah, I have not pinned my LexCore, guys. I mean, the new Night Models kits are actually fairly sturdy, but again, they're still metal, so I still pin everything metal at least. Okay, so now let's get through and start. Let's finish the basing on her. So I usually go 2 colors here, carmine red and leather brown. And then we'll talk red hood. I don't think I have enough time to finish him, but we'll see. Ooh. So I just paint a, kind of an every other than type pattern. Doesn't have to be the most precise thing. You just kind of pick which stones you're doing. I think I loaned my pinning kit out to someone. I've gotten away without pinning, but yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't pin. And, if you can get away with it, cool. But I haven't been able to get away with it. So, and I've just, had too many friends break their stuff right in front of me, and it's awful. It just makes my eyes bleed a little bit. I think a couple of weeks ago, I showed you guys I was pinning one of Jose's his Nightwing miniature, just to show you, here's the here's the reality of not pinning. I got super preachy. But if you're used to really fiddly models, then pinning is kind of a must. Okay. So now we make an umber type wash. Brown ink and some black ink. And you go about 3 to 1. Hey, what's up, Mikey's Miscast? How you doing? Thanks, man. Doing well. Thanks for the compliment on Miss White Rabbit here. What are you working on, buddy? Thanks for popping into the feed. Okay. So you get a little umber glaze going, and that just basically kind of unites this whole thing. It's kind of like, it's in a way, it's like your Agrex Earthshade. It's just the fact that it's a glaze, an ink glaze, gives you a little more control should you need it. You don't really need it when you're doing something like this, though. It's pretty. It just, you know, it's just going to do its thing, and you just trust it. Because it looks weird going down, I get it. But when it dries down, it's going to be nice. Okay. So now, let's go ahead and wrap her up. Just need to put the black around. And then we can do, let's do a little work on Red Hood. Not too bad. I injured my back last week, so I haven't been able to paint. Ouch. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. That's a bummer. It's too bad you can't, like, there isn't an apparatus where you can, like, tilt your bed vertically and paint standing. That's a bummer, though. You know, when you're injured and you can't, you know, you're not working, you can't, and you can't hobby, it's tough. But glad to hear you're on the mend, and hopefully you get back in action pretty soon. Been doing my best to keep up on your videos. They're always fun. Okay. I had a question for you anyways. So your channel name is Mikey's Miscast. Does that in any way indicate that you do metal casting or you do miniature casting? Curious. Or is it just a clever name? Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna let her dry, and she's basically done. I mean, it's a pretty simple model, super fun. You know, gonna get her on the board and play with her for a bit. Okay, let's do it while we're here. Let's play with this guy for a little bit. Okay, so I have painted, full disclosure, I have painted probably 4 or 5 of these. And every time I paint one, somebody buys it off me, or I've given one away, or something like that, right? I'm going to try to keep this one. This one, I think in order for me to keep this one, though, I think I'm going to have to go to drastic measures. So we're going to paint this guy a little different than how he normally looks. Okay? Let's see. Now it's just Mikey. My name is Michael. Miscast because I used to play Warhammer Fantasy Orcs and Gobos. Miscasts are always common with the Orc Wizards. Fair enough. Cool name. I like it. So yeah, we're going to paint some Red Hood here in a minute. I'm going to get another sip of my drink. Okay. So we're gonna paint this. We're gonna attempt to paint this like Cobra Commander. Okay, that's not a new idea. I've seen people do it before. I've seen some people do it really well. We're gonna attempt to do it here. And I don't know. I don't know what we'll get. Let's just go at it with an open mind and see what we get. It's if I can get the chrome mask, the chrome face, and the cobra symbol down, then we might be in good shape. So the first things first, let's try to get that cobra symbol, because I want him to be wearing like a t-shirt. He's gonna have the cobra symbol on his white t-shirt, and it'll incorporate a little bit of the bat symbol on it. Right? So let's just see what we... Did you buy him for a crew, or did you like the model? He's just such a useful, full disclosure, Jason Todd in his various forms in Batman is just always good. There's just always a good... I'm going to have to Google a cobra symbol here real quick. Jason Todd is just always useful. Got to go. Wish you all the best. All right. Have a good one, Mikey. Thanks for popping in. No matter which Red Hood you field, or Arkham Knight, or whatever, he's amazing. I'm going to tell you right now. Always worth taking if you have access to any Jason Todd, because they're all good. G.I. Joe Cobra symbol. And this one is the free agent form. So you can run... Oh, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Okay. Good. Okay. I can make that. We can make that work, buddy. Okay. So, yeah. So there is a... in the case of Red Hood, you have the sidekick version, who is a really, really good, ranged threat. He comes in with the 2 pistols. He can unload on people, do lots of damage. So that one is a little more focused on doing massive damage with the pistols. Whereas this one here is the free agent version, who is a little more all-around purpose than that one. And I believe he's a little cheaper. So it's just going to be a little bit of freehand to get the Cobra symbol. So now all I need to do, actually looks pretty good already. But I am going to run him. I'm going to run this free agent with my with my dynamic duo when I want to run dynamic duo at 350 rep, right? Because he'll take up a free agent slot, and he gives them legitimate range threat, but he's also a good all-arounder. He's got reasonably okay melee, with 2 stars and strength 4+ and attack 4. But what's nice is that crazy rate of fire 4 on his pistols. What do you think? Look good? Is that a convincing Cobra symbol there? All right. So now let's go ahead and let's use that cold gray. And I believe I made a... And we're going to start painting in the chrome. Looks good. Thank you, sir. Well, I'm not going to do a blue shirt. The hood and the jacket are going to be blue. So that way, you have it looks like, if you remember the original Cobra Commander, he had that fully button-up shirt. This would be, if you can imagine that shirt opened up, and he's going to have some shoulder pads on it. He'll have some padding there, but that's what we're looking at. So I'm going to let that dry, and we're going to take some armor wash. And run it over the face. Whoa. What's going on here? Whoa. There's way too much armor wash. So I'm just trying to get a chrome look on that, on the face here. So in order to do that, hey, what's up, Jamjar? Welcome to the feed, buddy. So see, the bottom of the face is going to be where this black is settling in, and then I'm going to really subtly highlight up towards white, towards this half of the face, like that's where the light is coming in. And while I've got this out, I can wash the guns. All right, so now let's do the base coat blue for Cobra. Now, Cobra Commander is he's actually pretty intense blue. So I could go with like this Andrea blue, or let me see. I believe I actually have a more appropriate blue here. This is a nice blue here. Magic blue. Okay. So we're going to do magic blue on here and here. I don't know. I might also do the pants too. Might as well. Make him really look like Cobra Commander. I think it's awesome. I don't know. I hope this. I'm starting to get excited. I hope this turns out well, because that's a cool take on Red Hood. And I can't say that this idea was mine though. My friend Jose, he did that on the other Red Hood. He made that Cobra Commander, and I was thinking about him doing that, and I was like, you know, he's on the right track, but this to me looks more like Cobra Commander. That other Red Hood I would have painted like Destro. Hey Jamjar, what are you working on, man? Not even your idea. You're a big phony. That's right. Stole this idea. Actually, I don't know if I've seen other miniature lines done as G.I. Joe. Like I've seen Black Diamond from Relic Knights. I've seen someone paint that to look like Cobra, but I don't know if I've ever seen this particular miniature done like Cobra Commander, which seems odd to me because like that's exactly what this dude reminds me of. Small Dwarden flying ship. Sweet. Sounds like a fun project. I think he needs the Cobra heraldry and more than just the shirt, though. I don't know. Let's finish getting this blue down. Now, do you think the pants should be blue also? Should he be like really true Cobra Commander, where he's pretty much all blue? I think for recognizability, probably. The big frigate. So let's get the blue down, and then we'll continue to work on that chrome face. It's going to be a quick paint job based on the decisions that we just made. I really like this idea of like these like, you know, painting your miniatures to be references of other miniatures. Or like for Relic Knights, you know, they're basically cosplay miniatures. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, the boots are going to be black, so there's not much. But I think that gets the point across, right? We know, you know who we're going for at this point. Okay, so now I have to make a super, super thin white glaze. Oh, you did pick up a Relic Knight starter? Awesome. I still like that game quite a bit. Waiting for 2.0 to launch before I really dive back into it. You can see I have a white glaze there. And then I'm going to soften that up with the black, the armor wash. Right? There we go. Is Relic Knights any good? I enjoy it. I enjoyed the version 1. It's kind of a, it was definitely kind of an interesting game as if you were to compare it to modern day skirmish games, because it broke a lot of the convention, and it was an anime themed game, and so it was very different than your standard skirmish miniature game. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people were turned off by it because it just didn't behave like your typical skirmish game. You're gonna have there used to be games where you could win the games without killing anybody, or you could spend the whole game kind of just running and blocking, and that made for frustrating games. But in a sense, that was kind of the point, was that this is not like other miniatures games, and so if you're just trying to punch your way out of it and trying to take models off the board, that's not going to do you nearly as much good as kind of applying tunnel vision to your objectives and just going at your objectives as fast as you can. And so some people liked that playstyle. I liked that playstyle, but I do understand why, this new version, they're going to go more towards a more standard, game where, yes, it's still objective based, but there's going to be a lot more direct head-to-head fighting going on. They also simplified, the card duel mechanics, and kind of how the knights work. So there's a lot of changes. I don't know at this point. I can't say whether or not they're all good changes. We're just going to have to find out. I love the miniature range enough, and I do volunteer for Ninja Division. That's part of my bias here. Yeah, the models are very cool. That's kind of why I'm still very interested in Relic Knights. It's still one of my perennial favorite games. Although, I think I was admitting, like, in the last feed, like, Batman is really, really becoming, like, one of my favorite miniature games. Yeah, this guy looks way more like Cobra Commander than the other Red Hood. Lol, definitely do not sell. Started on Gates event. Does that mean I'm not sure, Albert, if that means that this model's cool enough for me to keep, or is this model bad enough that I couldn't sell it for a decent price? I mean, it's a fairly simple paint job. But my problem is if I sold it, then another one of these would be running around and it would make me kind of sad. I want to be able to steal the idea myself and then implement it myself and only have a copy of the mini. Well, I don't know. We're gonna put a little more interest in this model. Looks good. Tori done well, and he did, and he's still painting stuff. It's awesome, and he's still putting up videos. I'm pretty happy about that because I know sometimes Tori gets nervous when he's gonna put videos, and he gets a little self-conscious, and so it's really encouraging to see that he's still that he's gonna keep going with it and keep posting videos. Man, this guy's awesome. Okay, all right. So he's gonna need a highlight on the blue. Actually, while we're waiting on that, let's go ahead and do the let me get the basalt gray down on the cobblestone here. So with the cobblestone, I follow the same basic pattern as I do with the flagstone, and the reason why is it just helps keep the models more unified. But the fact that some of them are brick herringbone and some of them are cobblestone kind of still tips you off as to what crew they should be running around with. Most of my quote-unquote good guys are running around on the cobblestone, whereas most of the bad guys are running around on flagstone. All right, so now, dude, he's I like him. He's awesome. Let's highlight that blue. So we're going to do this light sea blue. I think I need another highlight of white. on the chrome face. Now I'm going to have to come up with excuses to field this guy. Like, I'm going to have to find a crew that he can run with and do them Cobra themed, G.I. Joe themed or whatever. I wonder if Jose's going to be mad at me. They stole his idea. I mean, he already painted his Red Hood too, so. And he can hold it over my head if he wants. He can say, oh yeah, well, I came up with it, which he did. Props to you, Jose. I just am enjoying my theft of your idea. My slight tweak using a better suited model to be Cobra Commander. Yeah, you don't want to over highlight the model, but you do want to want all the lines and the lighting to work. Baroness is Black Canary. Oh man, or Black Canary is Baroness. That's so cool. Huntress, or yeah, you can do Huntress as Scarlet. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do here. Oh, let's there we go. Man, I am having some fun painting this. This is super fun. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to have to sit down and scope out what my G.I. Joe crew would look like. But yeah. This worked out pretty well. I think in Jason Todd, most of his iterations, if not all of them, are better than equivalent Deadshot at the same cost. You know what I mean? So like the 90-ish point Jason Todd, better the uh, than the 90-ish Deadshot, just because he can regularly put out more rounds. Would also say that the Sniper Jason Todd better than the Sniper version of Deadshot. Now this guy's more expensive than Sweatshot is. The Arkham City Deadshot, who I'm a huge fan of. So yeah, this character is more robust than that Deadshot, but that doesn't mean much because this character is this particular character is more expensive than. All right, let's do some top level highlighting. I'm gonna have to paint in that Cobra symbol a couple extra times just to make sure that it pops. Okay, pretty good. Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and let's kind of just darken in the Cobra symbol. Oops. trying to get that symbol to look better. It's not flowing off. This red's kind of acting up on me. Metallic red? A good suggestion. I really try to stay away from metallics most of the time. It's just not the effect that I want. Pretty good. Told me it was happy seppuku. What was that? Oh, the base? Yeah. That's the base stamps that I'm using. What do you think? Not bad? Is that okay? Is it gonna be good? Okay. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this guy's base and wrap him up then. All right. Okay. Cool, cool. Any questions or anything while I'm doing this? I'll bring back White Rabbit so we can see how she dried down. First, we're gonna knock out this base real quick. And I'll text Jose a picture of this to let him know that I stole his idea. All right. Oh, a red stripe. Honestly, if I'm looking at the sides of the miniature, I don't really. There's not much opportunity to do that. I mean, I could do. No, I don't. Unfortunately, yeah, I don't. I think we're just gonna have to leave it like this. It's a good suggestion. It really is. I don't want to kind of clutter up an area like that that's just so small. Okay. Like that. And umber ink. Put that all together. I don't know. I mean, the nice thing about this model is such a simple paint job. I can always come back and decide I want that pretty important detail on Cobra Commander's outfit. What I'm curious is to see, how many people don't recognize this is Cobra Commander. Okay. So that's that, dude. It's nice. That wraps up that kind of batch of minis that I had. Also, I switched my wet palette out, so I'm going with something like that now. More just like baking tin style, and it does pretty well. So put this here. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at White Rabbit. Can she actually? How close can I get here? Let's see if I can. Whoa. See if that focus. There we go. There's her. Real fun, simple mini. Not really much to do there, other than get the booty down and the skin and the face and all that. Right? That's her. And then obviously this dude here. He's fun. Oh, I feel like did I screw up that fang a little bit? It's okay. I can always come back in and fix that. He's really simple paint job, but it does a trick. The Cobra symbol could be a little bit better. You know what? Let's try to clean that up real quick. So I'm ready to take on the next commission that comes in, because I did a round of minis for myself. So now I'm ready to work on somebody else's. Let's get that red back. So I'm missing a fang right there. There we go. Okay, cool. Okay. All right, guys. So that, do you look for commissions, or they just come in both? Actually, most of the time these days they just sort of come in. You know, people contact me on my Facebook page, or they contact me, or they, you know, or it's, in this case, it's a local guy. He likes to play Batman, and he likes to have his miniatures painted. So both. Yeah, and it's nice because, you know, it's a decent pace for me. I don't get swamped, and when I do, I have, you know, Painted has other painters. Like I can refer them to Phil. If I end up with too much to do. So, any other questions before we? I think we're gonna call it a night here. Overall, pretty fun. Really liked both of the miniatures I worked on tonight, and you guys saw the previous stuff that we did. So, anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. Want to thank you guys for watching. Have a good night, everybody, and we will catch you on the next one.